Hi and welcome back to the channel. When Arnold first came to America, his girlfriend Barbara Outland said that every New Year's Eve, Arnold would make a list of the things that he wanted to achieve for the next year. And when Arnold went down that same list the following New Year's Eve, she said that he'd have every item on that list checked off and done. I'm not really a big motivational quotes fan, but one thing that Arnold said in particular always resonates with me as an invisible kick up the arse sometimes. He speaks about being the master of the program, stating, "I knew that as soon as I wrote things down, the last thing I wanted to do was disappoint myself. I knew that I had to look in the mirror every day, and I couldn't look in the mirror and say, you know something, you're a fucking loser. You can't even do the kind of sets and reps and exercises that you write down." And I didn't want to face that. Exactly a year ago, I finally started on what has become an amazing journey, creating this YouTube channel. I remember watching a video back in 2013 saying that if you hadn't started a channel by now, there's no point, because the fitness niche back at that time was so saturated. Creating YouTube content was something that I'd always wanted to do, but I didn't think that I had the tech know-how, I didn't think that I had anything worth saying, and why would anyone listen to me? And as that discouraging voice from 2013, which was incidentally the one and only Jason Blaha, pointed out, I thought YouTube was oversaturated and there was simply no point in starting or even trying. So with every year I put it off and eventually strained under the weight of my own excuses. I never anticipated how difficult it would be to get started, and it's been a huge learning curve every step of the way. But the sense of achievement of just getting it going and continuing it for a year has been one of the best things I've ever done. My goal has always been to raise the bar a little and challenge people to think and create content that looks at bodybuilding from a more analytical and critical eye. I've tried my best to present topics from different perspectives instead of the same old surface level Wikipedia cut and paste shit that saturates social media. My second goal has always been to shine more light on the people and creators who I feel just don't get enough recognition and attention that they deserve, and hopefully bring more eyeballs to their work. I hope that moving forward, if there's a name that you're not familiar with or that you see me interviewing, please give them a check out, because there may be some undiscovered value from someone or something that you've never encountered before. I think it's so important that we preserve the memories and the names and the events of the past, because every time we pick up a weight, we are making a connection in some way to those names and to those things that came before us. Really delving deep and learning about our iron history and lineage has been one of the most enriching, educational and entertaining things that we can do, and I believe makes us more than just the stereotypical, shallow, narcissistic meathead culture that many perceive bodybuilders to be. The particular highlights for this channel so far have been many. The community has grown from basically 0 to just over 11,300. I want to thank everyone that subscribed, watched, liked the video, left a comment and shared it with others. The audience for this channel is seriously the best, and I truly appreciate the interaction and encouragement, and I'm grateful for every bit of continued support. Most YouTube comment sections are a total train wreck, but I'm surprised and blown away by the thoughtful, intelligent and respectful comments that I receive on the videos. The biggest buzz that I get is seeing the regular audience show up again and again, taking time out of their busy days to leave a comment or a like. Stats on the channel show that 87% of people that watch the videos haven't yet subscribed. So if you can just do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, it always helps convince guests if the channel metrics are worth their time. Demographically, it's been a huge surprise to me seeing that less than 10% of my audience is under 40 years old, and with over 60% being over the age of 55. Some might say, well, what do you expect? It's a history channel. But that's precisely my point for starting the channel in the first place. I meet these young 20-something guys all the time who are obsessed with training, and yet they don't even know who Dorian Yates is and never seen Pumping Iron. Yet they can tell me every PED that some irrelevant influencer is taking, or the latest social media drama scene. And I've got to wonder about the preservation of physical culture and bodybuilding history in the hands of this next generation. I think it's important that each generation pass on the narrative flame to the next. Otherwise, these names and events will be lost to ambivalence and apathy. When I see great documentaries like Dream Big or Tony Pearson's new film Driven get minimal views or even attention from other bodybuilding channels, or when former legends of the game barely crack 500 subscribers on their social media, it's both a little sad and disappointing. The Iron Game has always resorted to a certain level of navel gazing, but it's definitely becoming increasingly fickle and insular. There's an attitude of general apathy about the past greats when social media has made everyone the main character and focus of their own banality. Now, one of the possible challenges of a content creator in the bodybuilding and physical culture history niche is that it's difficult to sustain content-wise because with the golden era history, they're not making any more of it. We're already dealing with limited amounts of footage and stories, and I don't want to turn my vids solely into something resembling a photo slideshow or a PowerPoint presentation. I'll keep making this kind of content as there's still lots of things to discuss, but I want to branch out and interject more of my own personal learnings, experiences, and experiments with training and diet that I've accumulated over the years. And my goal moving forward for the channel is to hopefully improve my video editing while keeping the standard, the substance, and the research behind my storytelling high. Two of my biggest inspirations in this space are the channels Large Coffee and Big Craig, and if you haven't checked them out yet, give them a look in. I also want to be more consistent with the guest interviews because I love connecting with those people that I've held in regard and respected and learned from for so long. Everyone has their story, their process, and I think that we can learn a little bit from everybody. I admit that right now I totally suck as an interviewer. I get really nervous on camera, I get starstruck, and I verbally trip over my words and look a little bit stupid sometimes. But as an introvert who probably says less than 100 words on any given day, I find it frustrating that my thoughts in the head don't always translate into coherent speech a good majority of the time. I never realized how hard it is to make a good podcast, and I respect those that do it well even more for their talent. It's my #1 goal to improve, so thanks for your patience and realize it's just a learning process for me at the moment. Thank you especially to those that have supported the channel with a monetary super like or a donation made to the Buy Me a Coffee link. Beyond the countless hours dedicated to writing, scripting, sourcing, editing, and stitching together thousands of clips and images, the channel costs more money than I expected it to run, and way more than the literal pennies that it earns in return. So I really appreciate those that support me with a small donation or contribution. Every dollar I receive, I invest it back into the channel. I don't do a lot of self-promotion, but I do offer online coaching and consultations. So with the new year coming around the corner, if you're wanting someone experienced and dedicated to helping you achieve your goals, please consider me over one of these guys who are really saturated with clients, or just some kid who's been at the game for 10 minutes. I put even more work into my clients than I do my videos, so you won't be disappointed. My content choices have pretty much reflected the kinds of topics that have interested me over the year. But if you have any ideas for topics that you want to see me cover, please let me know in the comments. And I just want to sum up by saying if you have something to say with your own writing or creating videos has been on your bucket list or as a goal for you this year, I really encourage you to put that plan into action. And while it might be that YouTube is saturated, the pool of good content has and always will be exceedingly shallow. And if you have any questions about getting started or about the channel in general, please leave a comment down below. Thanks again for watching.